Hello, everyone. Pleasure to see you again. Another live from Software Mention. This time with me is Giovanni from Amazon, senior developer advocate from Amazon. Hello, Giovanni.
Hello everyone. I'm so excited to be here in the live streaming. Sometimes I watched this live stream before, and it was pretty much being in the audience part is so fun because it's so interesting. And now I'm super excited to be actually talking with you and all the guys around. So yeah,
Me too. Me too. I
thank
can't
you.
wait. Yeah, we already. For those of you who don't know, we already had one live about Vega, which is the topic of today's live.
Yeah,
But we were diving into it on our own, and now we have Giovanni, which I'm super excited for. He will know much more than we do about Vega, and he's very keen on sharing that knowledge with us. I hope so. I hope so.
yeah.
So
Yes,
yeah,
of course.
just to give people some time for joining. You are in London now, right?
Yeah, actually, I'm from Italy, from Rome, but I'm based in London. So live and
Okay.
working in London. From the Amazon offices in London. Now, having a live stream from home. I hope the lights is okay.
Having
Uh, yeah.
did you like the switch from Rome to London? Like the weather
I
is
mean,
probably
yeah, the classic things about the weather. So today is a gloomy weather. So it's not sweet. I have a big window here, but it's not suitable for a live streaming because otherwise the light is gonna be very, very dark. So
yeah.
I'm here. Even being now 4 p.m. in the afternoon, it's gloomy and that's it.
Mm,
But we actually during the summer had some really good weather. So I cannot complain about it.
I can imagine that in summer it might be better to be in London than in Rome.
Yeah.
It's
Mm,
very
yeah.
hot in Rome
Yeah. But
during
I
the summer.
love Rome anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be there and I loved it. One of my favorite places in the world. I really enjoyed it.
Wow. Yeah, that's great. It's a museum, no? It's like a museum, like working
Yeah,
and living in a.
yeah. And yeah, I would prefer Rome to London probably, especially as a tourist. I don't know how about living, but as a
Yeah,
tourist,
yeah. I feel the same. Yeah, but yeah. But I love London anyway. So
great. So while you are in London, you are working for Amazon. Uh, on one of the projects, the big projects that you revealed recently
yeah,
is Vega OS, and especially interesting for me and for Software Mention, since we are very dedicated to React Native community. The
yeah.
announcement that React Native is going to be the go-to and main and first-class citizen of Vega OS was huge. We really, we really can't wait to see all the apps being written in React
Um,
Native. But it also, of course, raises a lot of questions because we know our ecosystem very well. We have support for many platforms, and
mm,
adding another platform is always tricky. So, how about we start with some journey, and
yeah.
maybe you can tell me how what should I do if I'm about to start a new application, and this time I want to support Vega OS as well, apart from my usual Android and iOS uh,
Yeah.
systems.
So yeah, like you said, we presented almost about 2 weeks ago our new operating system, Vega OS. It's a Linux-based operating system where React Native is, like you say, the first class citizen. So what does it mean? It means that if you already know React Native, if you already know how to use TypeScript, if you already know how to build, in this case, TV apps, because of course, we release it in for our Fire TV stick as well. So if you know already how to develop TV apps in React Native, like jumping to this new platform is gonna be super trivial, super easy. And that's because we are really using React Native. I mean, there is nothing, just a little bit of differences that we're gonna show this in a bit. So you can use your knowledge even about the toolings, the language, things that you already used to. So I'll probably show you this in a bit if you want, but
Of
you will
course.
see even the environment, the IDE that you can use, the command lines tools, is pretty much familiar. So if you're coming from React Native. If you're coming from other languages, framework, and technologies, there might be a little bit, of course, friction, because you need to learn a new platform. But
Mhm.
of course, we uh, try always, even me with my main job, I try to assist developers into go toward new or frameworks, or like how to develop TV apps, even coming from different background.
Okay.
But yeah, coming from React Native, like it's very, very easy. I will show you in a bit this. And this is also brings the topic to why we choose React Native. Yeah.
That's very
Because
that's yeah.
yeah,
I was just about to ask because there are plenty of UI frameworks out there, and
yeah.
you decided to go with React Native, and I can imagine tons of arguments for that. But I'm React Native lover, so that's easy for me. So, what was your rationale behind this decision?
So yes, if from what of course I can disclose about this, because of course we work like since years about this, like on this operating system and tooling. But from my own experience and the experience also the product team, I mean, it's not the first time we are developing TV operating system or devices in Amazon. We have the Fire TV Stick, we have the Fire TV, and we saw a lot of developers were already using React Native to develop their TV apps. And this is because of the power of React Native solving one of the major issues of the TV landscape, that is the fragmentation. So, like in the smartphone and tablet worlds, you mainly have iOS and Android. And then like if you like you can use whatever multi-platform like framework you want, but usually like with React Native, you're pretty happy to like really be native across both these platforms and cover both. On the TV, on the opposite side, you don't only have like Android TV, Fire OS, or like you have many more. So you
Yeah,
can have
like
like add a different processor. Yeah,
one
it's
from
a different.
Samsung, one from LG, and probably
Yeah,
many others that I don't even know of. But there's like fragmentation is a
yeah.
big problem of TV landscape.
So we saw a lot of developers were already using React Native to tackle this. So like React Native, like for Fire OS, tvOS, and even exporting with the help of React Native Web towards the web-oriented operating system on the TV. So like Web OS for LG or Tizen. So they were really like tackling, like solving this fragmentation issue using React Native. So we try to be friendly with developers. Okay, you already know this for TV. This is I would say the winning framework, because at the moment this is like the reality. Of course, you can use just JavaScript to develop like web apps for TV, but this can become tricky sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And then in this case, you cannot leverage the real power of the platform. But so we try to be like friendly with the developers and say, okay, we try to listen. In Amazon, we like to say that we are customer obsessed. So like, and we saw that our customer, the TV developers, were using already this framework.
Have you seen
That's
that
how.
they were using already React Native for old Fire OS? Like, because it was Android-based operating system, so it was
Yeah,
possible to write React Native app
yeah.
for
Yeah, it's
Fire
like you
OS.
say, like, yeah, Fire OS is based on Android, open source. So essentially, with React Native, you can like develop normally Android apps, Fire OS apps, and Apple TV apps or iOS apps. So what we saw is this, like React Native was used a lot. And even internally, like for our internal apps in Amazon, we use like massively React Native a lot.
Okay, so but to be perfectly clear, it doesn't mean
Mm.
that I can take my existing React Native application and just run it on Vega OS without any modifications, right?
So yeah, I would say right, but probably, of course, each case is like every case is different, but probably the modification that you have to do to port your app to Vega OS is not that big. It's a matter of like, first of all, pointing the instead of using like React Native, you need to use like the React Native for Vega OS. So
So
you
it's
need to
different
change.
import.
Yeah. So you need to change the namespace and the import of the main React Native that you use, and then the libraries that we are supporting, because it's like an auto-tree platform in this case. So it's like probably if you already use as a developer, you already use like, I don't know, React Native for desktop, or like even tvOS, React Native tvOS. You just use a different branch out of 3 of React Native, and then you're good to go. There could be some quirks like for versioning, like, oh, I'm supporting this version instead of this other, or like even like for libraries. But we, with the help of a lot of like companies like yours as well, had a lot of like really good work importing all these the most used libraries, I would say. Yeah,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
for TV.
Yeah, that's true. We kind of knew because that something is cooking because we were helping you with some
Yeah,
migrations.
thanks.
Yeah, that was a heck of a journey, but we loved it.
Mm.
Uh, but
It's fun. Yeah.
yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It was
Mm.
something new also because, as you said, it's
Mm.
like Linux based system. So it was not like creating another Android or iOS library. But yeah, thanks to
Yeah,
the power of C++, it was not that difficult, especially for our libraries, which are
great.
very C++ centric. So yeah, that was a good decision that we made some time ago, and it paid off for Vega as well. That was awesome. So, but there is a list of supported libraries, and actually, it's you with help of some companies like us and others.
Yeah.
Uh, what if I want? What if I have some? What if I have some library that is not on the list in my existing app?
So if you don't have in your so as a app developers, if you are using a library that is JavaScript only based, there is a lot like really like I would say 99% of probability this is gonna work. I say 99 because you never know about something like I don't want to put my hands on fire on this. But like because like if you're using JavaScript for this for the library, it's pretty much like compatible because what is changing? It's changing like the low hand like internal calls to the operating system. So if your library instead is using like really native API, and chances are that this library is not ported for Vega OS, this is not going to work.
Mhm.
So you can like first of all like ask us in the forum or submit like a request to say, oh, I would like to have this library ported, or like you can contact the library maintainer as well to ask him like to port to Vega OS or in a different branch. This is like pretty easy. I mean, we already saw some like partners and some developers starting to convert the library to port the library to Fire OS as well.
Mhm.
To Vega OS. I'm supporting both operating systems and sometimes like and yeah, there it is. Even like if you're really like if you are a library developer, we also have like a bunch of documentation and we can support also you in converting and porting the app to Vega OS. It's but I mean it's like it depends of course of the feature of the libraries, but pretty much it's very easy to port.
Okay, because there are two
Mm.
scenarios I can think of where I might want to use something non-JS
Mhm.
from my library. One is accessing some system API, but I
Yeah.
assume it's pretty much covered because you know your system API, so probably everything is covered there. And the
Yeah.
other is some like specific drawings. Like I don't know if I wanted to add support for liquid design and it's
Mm.
not there yet, then I would need to
Mhm.
do some under the hood hacking probably. Is
Mm.
that accessible? Can I do that? Is there any documentation to show how I can access the underlying UI layer that powers the React Native?
Yeah. I would say from our tech documentation, you can from developer.amazon.com, the Vega part, there are also the API that you can use it to access the lab to make sure that the library is calling the right internal API.
Hmm.
But of course, we try already. Like we focus on porting the library. We focus on the most used libraries, especially at the moment for TV developers, because this is the like public main release hardware for developers for the TV. By the way, we are also running Vega OS on our Echo devices, so the one that probably each one of you has at home, like to use Alexa, for example.
Is that
Uh,
is it already running Vega OS? Is it gonna be run on
a
Vega
couple
OS?
of devices are already running Vega OS of that. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah. Yeah.
touch control is coming there. So it's not only pilot, not only
Yeah.
remote. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, with Vega OS, we try to be a lightweight operative system, so that is capable to have like really good performance even on less powerful hardware. So that's why we like add the capability to release a Fire TV stick a little bit cheaper than the previous one, with less, like I think it has 1 gig of RAMs instead of the 2 gig of RAMs of the Fire OS version of it. But it's also capable of run, for example, 4K like streaming, and it's pretty snappy in the experience. So you will see, like, if you use the remote control, it's super snappy. And sometimes, like, people say, "Oh, how do you like be capable to maintain this like, yeah, like performance improvement?" And that's like because of FROS, because it's super like lightweight, and because React Native is inside the platform. This is something that I didn't tell you before. So React Native, the runtime and Hermes, for example, is inside the operating system.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. This is probably the first time that somebody did something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
So
I think I saw some very small
everything was.
distribution of Linux that did that,
Mm,
but from major operating systems, it's definitely the first time that actual compiled React Native
yeah.
code is part of the system and it's shared library and not distributed with the app,
Mm.
which is huge.
If you see, even the libraries that we are using, the one that have the Amazon device namespace on it, like before them, are the one that are integrated into the OS. So that means that, like, that's runtime code shared across the application. So even as a developer, as a React Native developer, you always like deliver like a package that has the library inside for Fire OS under the iOS. In this case of Vega, you just need deploy in the package less. You just need less space for it because the library is already inside the operating system. So, and now we can update it. So, like, there is a bunch of like performance improvements because of this.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
So it's
uh,
tricky, but
and so that was about to be one of my next
mm,
questions, but since you've already touched on
oh, sorry.
performance, then let's stop here. And yeah, do you have any? Because usually especially for people coming from other technologies,
Mhm.
more low level technologies, one of the biggest concerns about React Native is performance, because JavaScript has this reputation of being slow. Uh, have you measured it? How does it compare to FireOS applications? Is it faster, slower, or about the same?
No, also the application running on Vega OS, like
Yeah, yeah.
we,
Assume,
yeah,
assume, assume I wrote the same application for Vega OS with React Native, and very
yeah.
similar one with Android SDK for Fire OS. Which one will
Mhm.
be faster?
So the one on Vega OS, we measured that
Nice.
in the same hardware. So same hardware. Of course, there like depends of the apps. Like it's like the case of the benchmark. Sometimes depends on which kind of benchmark you're running on. But like for example, for TV apps, we measure like I think 30% or 40% improvement in performance on the Vega OS part, like at the same hardware, so same gig of RAM, same CPUs. We had this information in like precise in our presentation that I did with my colleague Eric Faisal at ReactConf,
Mhm.
where we announced, yeah,
I
where
saw
we
it.
announced.
It's already live on YouTube, so I highly
Yeah,
recommend
yeah.
watching that.
So
Of
yeah,
course,
so there is like, yeah. So it's like it's more performance. So that's true, and
that's
this is because
awesome.
of that. Yeah, this is because of the architecture of Vega OS.
That's awesome. And also, getting back to the underlying UI engine and UI layer, because there's a great question from chat from Leslie. Uh,
Mm-mm.
what is it like? Is it C++ based, or is it some, like, I don't know, open source engine from Chromium, like Skia or something like that? Like, what is the what powers the actual drawing of UI on
So
Vega
it's
OS?
C++ and Rust you use. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and the API, if I wanted to in- integrate with it, would I use C++ or Rust or both?
So I think you can see that's at the moment. Rust, we I don't remember if it's open at the moment. It was said at the consumer like event that Rust is available. So I'm not 100% sure now if it's available today or like in a bit. But yeah, it's gonna be one of the go-to to use
Okay,
the API. Yeah.
but it doesn't use Yoga like like Android and iOS implementations, or does it?
We have our own version. So yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Uh, so let's say I started working on that. Of course, I did some research before, so I already know that like the version of React Native that you support and you ship
Yeah.
with Vega OS is not the newest. It's not very old, but it's also
It's
not the newest. It's
yeah,
75,
0.75, I think now. Yeah.
which is a year and a half old or something like that.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's probably one limitation that you should be aware of working
hmm
on your applications. But are there any plans for upgrades in the future? Is it even possible to, because it would require update of operating system, right?
Yeah, but so first of all, like a lot of like even React Conf, many developers were worried about this, and they told me, "Oh, 0.75, but what can we do?" Is like, first of all, we are supporting a new architecture, even if it's 0.75. So,
Awesome.
and this is a good thing. And it's because in the past we were working already on Vega OS and the underlying developer toolings, and we saw that this was the best approach to have. We are going to update of course, the React Native version. I'm not sure which version of it like it's going to be released and when, but of course we're going to update it, and this like there's going to be also. I mean, the power of Vega OS is going to be also this. That's like it's going to be easy to update the runtime of it straight away for the user, and then developers can just leverage the new platform, the new version of it directly on the platform. And yeah, I mean, of course, you need to do a rework if you're using some particular API of the new runtime.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
But
But that's
basically,
because it's not like before. Like one of the advantages of Vega OS is not that you are every time deploying your Hermes, your version of React Native runtime. It's in the operating system, so you only need to adapt the code.
okay, so basically, yeah, it means that if user updates operating system, like I don't
Yeah.
have full control of what React Native version is my app being run on. So I need to be like on top of my toes to be always up to date and see.
But the thing is, yeah, because some developers also asking me, it's not that we are updating a version and then we are not supporting the old ones anymore.
Mhm.
So we're gonna support multiple version of it. I'm not sure about how many of these we're gonna support like at the same moment.
Mhm.
But there will be moments in which I don't know we update to the X version. Yeah, the old Y version is gonna be still supported, and this is because inside the OS the support.
Okay.
So
And
it's not that your app is not gonna work anymore when we update.
okay. So
Yeah.
that brings me to another question about how do I distribute the app once I created that? Is there an equivalent of App Store for Vega OS?
Yes, so you can use the Amazon App Store. The App Store will be essentially the same,
Okay.
and there will be like the checkbox for Vega OS, where you can deploy the package, and then like it's the VPKG package or your app. It's like produced by the the building system of the developer's tool that I can show you by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And I also saw that you are supporting tons of Expo related libraries,
Mm.
which is great because we probably all love Expo. But how about things like that are also part of Expo ecosystem, like Expo updates? Let's for starters. Is there an equivalent for over-the-air updates of just JS code for Vega now?
At the moment, no, that I know about, and all the supported libraries are like inside our tech documentation. So we are going to update it like straight away when there is a new library supported, a new tool supported. So no worry about that. And we're going to be a lot of communication into our channel like YouTube, Twitter, and like in the developer forum as well.
Awesome.
Mm.
So if we can get back to one of my
Yeah.
first questions, like how do I actually implement Vega OS application? Like
Mm.
we already said that I need to do some different imports
Yeah.
because for both for React Native and for pretty much every library that has native code, I have to import its
Mm-hmm.
Amazon specific version, but they are like available out in the wild from npm, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but
I can show you. I think I can show you some example if you want.
yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. That would be great. Uh, And what else? What else should I do to support Vega OS apart from changing those imports? Like, suppose very sunny day scenario that I change the imports and it works and it runs. Is there anything else like remote
Really,
specific to the controls or something like that?
so if you already have a TV app and you want to port the TV app, chance are like that you already are supporting the remote control platform, like even like before, because the TV input, the TV default input mode is the remote control.
Mm-hmm.
So we in our Vega like OS React Native runtime, we are supporting already some API that are coming from React Native VOS. That is the version of React Native, the out of 3 platform React Native, like supporting the remote control because of the TV
Mm-hmm.
deployment. So we have already a lot of API like coming from there. And then we also, for example, for the focus management, that is one of the biggest problem in TV. We have our focus manager API that you can use to control and manage the focus when the input is coming from the remote control.
Mm-hmm.
Sort like that is one of the basic things for the TV application. So if you're already coming from the TV, chances are you have to modify a little bit the codes about the remote control, and that's it, a part of the libraries. If you're coming from the mobile application, then you need to add the support of for the remote control, and I suggest you to use the focus management API for Vega. Then one more thing is about, because we are talking always about TV, usually is and probably your app have some media showcase to the user. We need to provide, and we provide developers a way to play video, for example, streaming video or like local video that you have. And we support a bunch of like commercial libraries for video player,
Mm-hmm.
but we also in our technical documentation suggest, and I also said that in our React Conf session, we have the preferred way to support the video player is using the W3C API for media with the React Native libraries we have.
Mm-hmm.
So if developers are already coming from that kind of world of API, that is pretty like well-known standard, they can use that for media player. So it's pretty cool. If you don't know anything about media player, I did an experiment really. I created an hello world with Vega OS. I copy-pasted the code that we have on our technical documentation about the video player, and then I built and ran the code, and it was working. So like with a media streaming, it was just like a video player application that I had.
Okay, but how, when we talk about this video and other types of media, like, can I use Expo libraries for that, like Expo Video or Expo Audio?
I think Expo Video support, but like you need to check into the library, like the list of the libraries. Sometimes I really forget about which library is supported and why. So yeah, no worries.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, for example, I use React Native Video. This is one of the most used. I don't know if I share. Am I sharing my screen now
Yes,
or your
yes,
control?
you are. You
Okay.
are. I can see
So
myself multiple times.
yeah, the recursion. Yeah, like the recursion thing. So like we are supporting, for example, React Native Video. It's like an open source library for video streaming.
Mm-hmm.
And that, by the way, yeah, thank you for I know that the developers like ported this up in a really short time. So that means it's also easy like to port the library for Vega OS. Thank you, Camille. He was the developer that I was in contact with, and he ported it. Yeah. But then it's like really a bunch of like using like library that are already supported. I mean, we can check really, okay, a part of the recursion, we can check really into this is our technical documentation. And then libraries and service here. And then here on the left side, supported libraries, and check for, no, Expo Video is not supported. So like I was wrong, but that's it. So it's super easy to understand which library supported and of which version. So pretty much easy. These are the libraries of Expo from Expo that we are supporting. They are pretty much the most used one.
Mm-hmm.
For the video player, the things that I was telling you before, we have a code lab, and we have also the way to, like I said, like when I did my experiment about how to add a video player on a Vega app, I literally copy paste the code from here, from this punch to the documentation, and automatically it was working.
Okay.
And yeah, I have like a demo app here that I can show you. So like, yeah, this is the package JSON of the demo app that I had that I use for the ReactConf, for example. So you can see that we are, I think it's readable, this one. Let me know because I'm on the other screen. Can you read this?
Yep.
Yeah, so like we are pointing to the Amazon devices, namespace, library, React Native Kepper, version number. And
just to point it out, there's reanimated, there's screens, so
yes.
they're pretty much everything you need to make like your app look great.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's awesome. And they are also like reanimated screens and other like very commonly used applications are part of operating system, right?
You're right, perfectly. These like all these libraries are part of the operating system, so that means they are going through the performance improvement.
Awesome.
We also have a bunch of UI components that you can reuse it inside our library Kepper UI components. And then this was literally an Hello World app that I created from scratch from this. Like if you know command Swift P and then you do Vega, and then you can, I don't know, create.
That's also very, well, like there's an
Oh yeah,
extension, right? Yeah.
yeah. I
We
didn't talk
haven't
about
mentioned
it.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to talk about Vega on this development, but yeah, we have a plugin for VS Code. So if you are really, and probably you already using VS Code, you can install this from a marketplace or from the install of the Vega SDK. And then you magically you will have this icon here, the Vega Studio, we call Vega Studio, that you can use to create projects, run, put the project in debug mode, so you can use the debugger with setting the breakpoints. This is pretty cool as well. Or you can use the Chrome Dev tools to analyze, to profile your app. Everything is inside this plugin, so you don't need to go and use other tools. But we also support other tools outside VS Code, but you can really literally use this one.
Yeah, but if you don't want to use VS Code, for example, you are using WebStorm or Vim, then there are also command line tools for doing all of that, right?
Yeah, because of course, this VS Code plugin Vega Studio is based on a set of native API based on a command line that you already installed when you install the Vega developers tools. So you can use this one.
I've played a little bit with this extension, and I can tell it's super intuitive. It's like kind of like using Android Studio or Xcode or Radon IDE for that matter. But it's super useful.
For example, when I install the app, I use I'm more a command line guy. Sometimes I prefer to just run the command line, and instead of like pressing the play icon, I just do Kepler. Run Kepler is also like a name for the tools. Like sometimes you use the word Kepler for the building and running tools. So Kepler, run Kepler, and then I gave the BPKG. This is a package of my application. And then this is like installing and running the app on the emulator, the virtual device that is in another screen. Yeah, there it is. I think you can see that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the Kepler virtual device that is like essentially a copy of the things that you can see on the Fire TV stick when you like actually run it. And this is the app that I used for the conference, but it's essentially like really a Hello World app that is doing video streaming. You can select the movie.
You're now using keyboard, right?
Yeah, I'm using the keyboard now. So yeah, but I can use like the remote control here. So yeah, and it's changing the focus. Like I said here, I use the. This was actually a TV app that I did in React Native for Android TV and Fire OS, and I really didn't update anything about the remote control, nothing at all. I just change the libraries and I change the video player using the, like I said before, the strategy of copy pasting, like from our technical documentation. And if I click this, the video player is playing.
Nice.
Yeah, these are all AI generated movies from Chris Tragg. They generated for us. So I do like these movies that doesn't exist, that don't exist. Yeah, so like I'm gonna release this on GitHub, I think, but yeah, it's talking about GitHub, we have a lot of like much well developed examples that you can use as a reference if you want here on Amazon
I
App
saw
Dev.
that there's also an example for Monorepo. Uh, so, are there any best practices as to how to share code between Vega and say Android, iOS, React Native applications? Because there's gonna be some like differentiation at least in imports. So I need specific versions of files for Vega at least
Yeah.
on some layer. Is that the way to go? Like just to create dot something dot tsx files that will be only for Vega? Is it supported out of the box, or I need to
So
configure it?
yeah, like you say, like for if you are a developer that want to use the monorepo tactic for it, we already released a sample code that you can use, a simple project is Vega monorepo sample in our Amazon App Dev GitHub. And this is we show you how to configure your project for all the hardware, platform, and operating system. So this is like really supporting mobile, Android and iOS, TV with Android TV, tvOS, Fire OS, and Vega with Vega OS. And it's supporting, we are supporting Yarn. So we use Yarn workspaces for the monorepo part. You can see like in the code, like it's pretty much the standard monorepo approach with Yarn. So I suggest you to use this as a starting point to set up the monorepo. And then, yeah, actually it's like really a matter of like using the things that you already used to, like, okay, like, see, I can use like the .tv extension, .nsx to distinguish if a file is for TV or not, for the platform. You can use the platform API. I think it's Kepper, the keyword, for distinguish if something coming for Vega or like if it's running on other things. So yeah. So like
And
this is pretty much the default, the standard.
there's already a plugin, Metro plugin for that, right? So
Yes.
I don't need to write anything specifically. It will just work.
Yeah, we just work this one.
Okay. Can you show some files from Vega, or maybe can you show like how does the API for managing focus look like? Is that something that you can show easily?
Let me see, really navigating toward the example. Like I said, we have a lot of like samples code that developers can use. Like from today, straight away. Okay, this is another video sample app that developers can use. I would say, I think this is like using the focus. And this is the UI part.
Mhm.
I can show you here. There is also an opportunity to show you the best practice part of our technical documentation. Yeah, the developer guides. So we have a bunch like we grouped like a lot of listening the needs of our developers. Like, oh, how do we need to do this? How do we need to do that? So like deep linking services. And I think there would be something, there should be something about, yes, focus management here, where we actually have a video about it that, oh, it's me? Oh, so I completely forgot about it, but I have my video about focus management. So yeah, like the video. Yeah. So yeah, I
That's
will talk about
Inception.
the focus. Yeah. So no, yeah, I completely forgot about it. And like, so you can use the same, for example, this is like the UI part of the focus is simple React Native code. So if something is focused or not, and it's coming from the tvOS React Native tvOS API before. We also explain here the problem of the focus management, like, because sometimes developers are not coming from this kind of approach. They're coming only from the touchscreen. So we explain how the algorithm and the underlying algorithm works. And even, but in terms of code, we have a lot of literature about it. But yeah, but this idea,
there was something like use focus effect, I believe.
I think so.
I saw it when you were scrolling. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. This one, yeah. So like this is for
that's from React navigation. That's awesome.
Yeah, because like mostly of the things are already like, if you're already coming from this kind of like approach, you will see it's familiar. We use the TV focus guide view to organize the focus. Like this is coming from React Native OS, for example. We have a bunch of like things like we took from that API essentially because it was the most used from TV developers. So in this, we listen developers in this case. And
I must say that the documentation and the tutorials look pretty comprehensive. So probably, at least for the starters, it should be more than enough to write fully working React Native application. Yeah. I can think of one more thing that we haven't covered in terms of limitations and available APIs, and it's monitoring and crash reporting. Because of course you can probably use anything that just does it on JS side. Yeah. But some tools also have some native support just to catch crashes, for example, before React Native instance starts. Do you have that? Like, is there a support for any specific tool, or how does that work?
So, like I said, like, so the libraries, if your library is already like using JavaScript, that's pretty much it. We have some performance analysis tools, like for example, flashlights for performance. Awesome. But for diagnostics, I don't remember if you have tools integrated. Probably not at the moment.
I'm pretty sure I saw Sentry on libraries list, but I might be wrong.
Let's see. Like this time, this is like pretty much.
At least everyone knows it's not scripted.
Yeah, exactly. Like these things are also like changing a lot, and then it's because I'm supporting developers for React Native on Android TV and Fire TV and Vega OS. I mean, sometimes okay, which one we should? Let's see. Even if in the chat somebody has like already the answer or want an answer, it's fine.
There's an ask from the chat so that you connect your Mac to the power source, because people are getting anxious about your battery level.
This is part of the, it's part of the live stream. 18, it's okay.
Yeah,
I think
we have at least half an hour.
Tell me again when it's 10. Okay, when I'm gonna receive the notification. Thank you. Yeah, there is React Native executive for Sentry, for example. Oh, by the way, so thank you, Vakar, like the part of our Amazon teams in the forum. And these are also good things that I want to show you, because like we have a forum. So that means that there is a lot of already answered questions about the common problem for developers, like this one, we saw it. And even you, if you want, you can like, if you have some questions from the audience, you can post it here, and our team is like super ready and like really specific on answering questions about, like, for example, this. So yeah.
Okay. If I may, probably the last area of our conversation, and I wanted to touch on it briefly, because in the announcement itself, I believe someone said that the React Native is the default for building applications and games for Vega OS. So how about games? Is there a support for, I don't know, OpenGL, WebGL, or maybe ExpoGL or Skia or something like that would allow me to write some basic 3D, for example, or 2D games? Or is that done somehow differently?
So at the moment, really, and this is pretty honest, like the games, I don't think we have a lot of many games on the App Store for Vega, but like the things like, because of course, like we need to at the moment we are not supporting, for example, like engine for or best like other framework for game development. But I guess you cannot support, like, for example, like Skia at the moment, like we're using React Native Skia. You need to use our React Native version of it. But you can leverage, and then probably you're gonna use the C++ API for this and Rust. So it's pretty much complicated, but it is what it is for the performance. Yeah.
Okay.
And that would,
Okay.
yeah, that would at the moment is mostly like media streaming, TV apps based.
Okay.
We have
S-
some example about like hyper casual games, or like, you know, like not 3D games, not AAA games. We are like using Tetris for using React Native. That we showed React Native, React Conf, for example.
mhm. We were with Patrick. We were working on with Patrick from our team on our previous life. We were kind of re-implementing the 2048 games. I don't know if you know it. Game
Yeah, I know that
for
one. Yeah,
adding numbers, yeah, and we did it with Patrick. Did it actually with reanimated and gesture handler, and it worked pretty
yeah,
flawlessly. So that's one option probably for some simple games.
yeah. I don't know if GTA is gonna. But, I don't know. In React
Uh,
Native.
Probably one of the last chances for people on the chat to ask some questions if there are any. Uh,
Mm.
but yeah, I wanted to ask you, Giovanni, whether is there something that you wanted to tell about Vega, and maybe I haven't asked.
No, to me, it's like mostly. I think we get. I mean, yeah, more or less we show them almost the basic things that they can use it straight away to experiment with Vega and the Vega developer tools. Mine is more like a request from the audience. It's like, yeah, this is like the first version of it. We are like really, really eager to get feedback about this, and it's a really good opportunity for developers and for third-party library developers, app developers to shape these kind of platforms, to get feedback about it, and even to say, okay, probably this should be done differently. We have like we are super open to listen for feedback inside our forum, inside our even our like Amazon app dev GitHub sample apps. You can open issue and say, oh, this should be like this, or we can like discuss about anything, even considering the future of this operating system and the way that we are approaching the runtimes, uh, because we are working with the React Foundation as well, so we are part of it, and it's pretty much a really good thing to evolve together with the community.
Yeah, I really hope so. We are part of this foundation as well, so yeah, we
Yeah,
really look forward to working with all those companies and
follow up.
yeah, and make the community grow and be stronger than ever. And I'm pretty sure that Vega OS is big part of this growth. Uh, can't wait to see that. Can't wait to see all the touch screen devices. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Stay tuned.
that's awesome. And on top of everything, thank you very much. Thank you for this conversation, for previous cooperation on Vega, on porting our libraries. That was fun. That was super exciting.
Thank you.
Uh, and hopefully see you in the future. Maybe with next releases, we will have you on our live session again.
Yeah, thank you. It was super
Thank you.
exciting.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Ciao.